This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in Boulder, Colorado. I am here at the Backcountry Pizza and Tap House. Since 2011, they have been providing the widest selection of draft microbrews for the folks here in Boulder and some great food. I'm here with John, who is the owner, founder. Thanks for joining us, John. I mean, let's start off a little bit about yourself, man. Is this something that you grew up loving microbeer, loving the restaurant business? What was it that got you involved in this type of industry?
I always appreciated craft beer. It's been a big part of my life. I guess I just didn't think that there were a lot of restaurants that were focused on it enough. It's become way more popular in the last few years, but when I started this place, there were very few places that were focused on offering the world market selection of craft beer and doing a good job at it. So I thought Boulder would be a great place, and I figured that they needed something like this.
You definitely have made your mark here in the past 5 years. You guys pretty much have the widest selection here in Boulder when it comes to some of the greatest beer. Obviously, Colorado, we're known for microbrewery, but yet you guys are pretty well known because we're talking about 60 plus on tap, really, that people are able to enjoy here. Is that right?
Yeah, we have 66 taps. We have 2 beer engines, which is how cask beer is poured, the way it's been done for hundreds of years. And we have about 300 bottles on the bottle list.
Obviously, this is a place where beer is celebrated every day. Obviously, we've caught you during a week pretty much where it's really celebrated. Tell me what you got going on here tonight.
We have a Melvin Firestone Walker tap takeover tonight. So Melvin's a brewery from Jackson Hole, Wyoming. They won Small Brew Pub of the Year last year at Great American Beer Festival. And Firestone Walkers from Paso Robles, California. And they won Mid-Size Brewery of the Year last year. So we thought it'd be fun last year. We planned it for about a year to do a small and mid-size brewery winners tap takeover. So I have a bunch of rare stuff from both breweries that's really hard to get.
I would assume with 60 plus on tap back there, you probably have some regulars, some favorites that pretty much always stay around, and even though you got a rotational menu going all the way through, what are some of the favorites that people have, that you've stuck with in the past 5 years?
Well, we carry a lot of local stuff that Colorado's really well known for. Do a Telluride Face Down Brown, Avery White Rascal, Dry Dock Apricot Blonde. Those are our big Colorado beers that we have all the time. And then Stone IPA is one of the beers that I've always carried. And Firestone Walker Peebo Pilsner, Left Hand Milk Stout is a big staple. Upslope Craft Lager. You know, you've got to give people like a base before you throw them all the crazy stuff, you know?
Yeah,
you got to have some regular drinking stuff on tap as well.
Let me ask you this. When it comes to the Boulderites here, like wine tasters, are they getting more sophisticated when it comes to drinking beer as far as the different categories, different types?
Oh, yeah, for sure. There's a lot of stuff that, for instance, we couldn't sell sour beer very well when we first opened this location. And now we have 10 at least on tap at all times, 30, 40, 50 on the bottle list. I mean, people are drinking it now. Everybody worldwide is becoming way more educated on craft beer. So it's a lot easier to sell to those people now.
Absolutely. Let's start off one of the favorites there, which is ales. You guys got everything covered. We're talking about red ales, amber ales. You've got every ale covered as far as the pill. Tell me about what is an ale? Where does it come from?
Well, ale is one of the oldest types of beer that there is. It's generally maltier. It's top fermented.
Strong barley wine. Is that something new or is that something old?
Oh, barley wine's old as well. It's become more popular in the last couple years. I would say the IPA style definitely came from barley wines. Really hoppy, stronger ABV, wintertime type beer.
I mean, as Coloradans, like you say, we're veering out, we're learning some new beers, yet still the standbys are always there. We're talking about the stouts, the porters, the pilsners, the lagers. Those are all things that you guys pretty much lay out there.
Yeah, for sure. We do a good job trying to carry everything across the board, from IPAs to lagers to wheat beer, you know, sours.
Speaking of, I wasn't a big beer drinker when I started doing this about 4 or 5 years ago. I started enjoying ciders. I mean, ciders are kind of good. Kind of must be my sweet tooth or something like that. But you even have stuff that's smoked beer. What in the world is smoked beer?
Well, smoked beer comes from the malt. It originated in Bamberg, Germany. And they smoke the malt very heavily, so it gets a real smoky flavor to the beer.
Very cool. So that wouldn't be a sweet tooth for me. I should stick more to the ciders, I would imagine.
Yeah, probably so. We do carry quite a few ciders in the bottle from the world market.
One of the things I see there is, like you mentioned earlier, I didn't realize that the sours were not that popular to begin with. That's the one that I finally found after 4 or 5 years that I actually liked. I went through a lot of different samplings. I wasn't a dark guy, wasn't this. But the sours, sour and wild is a category that you have. What am I going to find in there?
Anything that's spontaneously fermented or inoculated with Brettanomyces or Saccharomyces or Pediococcus or Lactobacillus, those are all bacterial yeasts that affect the beer in different ways. Some of them are wood aged, some of them are fruited.
I've heard of fruit beer. I have never heard of vegetable beer. Tell me what that is exactly.
Well, pretty much Americans are just making beer with everything. They're pretty much throwing the kitchen sink at the category of beer in general. So there's a lot of field beers coming into play where people are using either peppers or carrots.
What about, I mean, right now we're talking about a lot of the drafts that you have coming down here, 60 plus on the back bar there. We're not even talking about bottles. I mean, 300 plus bottles you guys offer here. How do you keep track of all those? I mean, coming in and out?
Well, it's a labor of love. I mean, I know about all these beers and I carefully select all of them. And if we buy something in a bottle, it's generally because it's very rare and we only get a small amount of it on draft and it's around for a very short time, or because it's world market and it's not offered on draft at all. So I wanted to be able to offer those beers to people as well. It's a hard sell because we have so many good beers on tap, but the bottle list here is amazing. I mean, it's top 10 in the country, at least.
Basically, they say man cannot live on liquid alone. This wouldn't be the case here. You guys have a great menu. I mean, a lot of appetizers, a lot of entrees, pizza. Let's start off with the appetizers. What's a great way to start when you got your beer there?
Oh, any of our stuff. I mean, we've got our chicken tenders here are really good. We do half-price appetizers during happy hour from 2 to 5. So it's a good way to bring people in. The menu varies from that, but just pub food appetizers.
Pretty wide array as well. I mean, you can get everything from calamari to mac and cheese to a plate of hummus if you want, which is it's a pretty cool wide array there.
Yeah, well, there's a really diverse crowd of people in Boulder that eat and drink different things. So we want to make the menu as varied as possible so we can try to keep as many people happy.
One of the things that obviously you're known for, it's a Backcountry Pizza and Tap House. We got to talk pizza before I let you go. Small pizzas up to very large pizzas. How big a pizza are we talking about?
We do 12-inch pizzas up to 20-inch pizzas.
Wow, and we're talking about specialty pizzas, regular toppings, premium toppings, pretty much anything in between.
Yeah, we do. All of our ingredients are homemade, so we cut everything. We don't get anything pre-packaged or anything like that. We make our pizza sauce, we make our dough, we toss it, we bake it. So
seems like you guys keep expanding that menu out. I mean, I see entrees on there. I even see that as a smoked pork belly, tacos, street tacos. Is that something new, or has that been around for a while?
No, that's something new. That came in with our new chef that we got about 3 or 4 years ago, and he's just been doing a great job. His name's Anthony LaPiccolo. He just kills it. He makes great specials every day. All the sandwiches got way better when he came on board.
A ton of sandwiches, hot and cold. You've also got chicken parmesan. You got spaghetti. I see folks out here. Basically, it's a place for the college to come out, grab a great beer. But I also see this is pretty much a family environment here. You've got a wide mix of ages.
No, for sure. When I opened this place, I felt like it was the one thing Boulder was missing. There wasn't a place where you could bring your family, where the kids could play video games, where you could enjoy a few beers and not have to be in like a Chuck E. Cheese type environment, and then to not have to be in a finer dining environment where children aren't so welcome.
It's a good mix in between, because basically it's loud enough where I don't have to worry about my kids being too loud, yet at the same time, basically, it's an adult atmosphere. Obviously, this is a place you can come out, do some trivia, sour Sundays. Great place to watch a football game, I would imagine.
No, for sure. The kid-friendly environment, it has a lot to do with the fact that our bar and our restaurant are separate. So there aren't any children allowed in the bar, so that still allows people to have a bar experience in there. and then the rest of the restaurant, anything goes. It's a nice family place.
Speaking of the layout here, this is a pretty big establishment here. I also see you even have a banquet room there. We're talking about large groups, be it a wedding rehearsal dinner or possibly a corporate event. Are you able to host all those as well?
Yeah, we have a big banquet room, so we can host all the stuff that you just mentioned, and then business as usual in the whole rest of the place. So we have a kitchen staffed fully to do it, and it's not a problem. We do it all the time.
Excellent. Since 2011, you've been basically serving up some great microbrews, great food for the folks. You've been here for 5 years now. Has the community embraced the whole idea, and do you really feel that this is part of your big family of Boulder?
Oh yeah, Boulder needed a place like this, and I think we fit in perfect, and the amount of business that we do reflects that.
Wonderful. Viewers, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their website. On the website, check out their menu first of all. They've got some great appetizers there, all the way down to some wonderful pizzas. We're talking about appetizers, pizzas, entrees, everything you pretty much need right there. If you've got a group that you want to bring in, check out their banquet room. This is a family-friendly environment. You got to keep in mind here, it's a big enough place where if you want to get away and get off in the corner, you can do that. Separate bar, separate banquet room right there, works out great. Once again, they've been here since 2011. That is the Backcountry Pizza and Tap House. This is Gary Atensu with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.